Pandas for restaurant reviews, ratings, cuisines, and duplicates. A complete, standalone tutorial. We'll build a synthetic reviews dataset, clean out duplicates, then rank restaurants and cuisines with Pandas. No prior Pandas experience needed. Let's jump straight in. Running the cell now. Before you start, open a new Jupyter notebook in VS Code and select your Python interpreter as the kernel. If Pandas isn't installed yet, open a terminal in VS Code and run pip install pandas. Running the cell now. Once your kernel is selected, you're ready to go. And if this series is useful to you, subscribing now means the next dataset lands in your feed automatically. Let's dive in. Part 1. Building the dataset. Running the cell now. We import Pandas as PD. We also import numpy, which we'll use to generate random reviews. We print the installed Pandas version to confirm everything works. Running the cell now. Here, we confirm the Pandas library version is 2.3.0 to ensure compatibility for the dataset construction ahead. This step is crucial because different Pandas versions can affect data manipulation functions used later in the lesson. Keeping track of your environment helps maintain consistent and reproducible code as you build your dataset. We'll start with a small table of restaurants, then generate many individual reviews pointing back to them, entirely offline. Building a restaurant list. Running the cell now. A seeded random generator, so this dataset is exactly reproducible. 5 cuisine types. 3 cities. 3 price tiers, from budget to upscale. We build a restaurants table directly from a dictionary. 25 sequential IDs with a generated name each. A randomly assigned cuisine. A randomly assigned city. And a randomly assigned price range, weighted so mid-range spots are the most common, matching how most real cities actually skew. We preview the first 5 restaurants. Running the cell now. This output shows the first 5 rows of our restaurant list data frame, with columns for ID, name, cuisine, city, and price range. Notice that the price_ranged column is already populated with a distribution skewed towards a mid-range, reflecting the weighted probabilities we set in the code. This confirms our intent to create a realistic, diverse sample of restaurants for further analysis. Each review references one restaurant and carries its own rating and date. Generating reviews. Running the cell now. We'll generate 600 individual reviews. An empty list to collect them. A range of possible review dates. We loop once per review. Picking a random existing restaurant. A random rating from 1 to 5, weighted so higher ratings are more common, matching how review sites tend to skew positive. And a random date. Appending the finished row. We build a data frame from every row. We print the shape, 600 rows, for columns. Running the cell now. The output, 600, confirms that the code successfully generated 600 review entries, each with 4 key columns, review_ID, restaurant_ID, rating, and review_date. This matches the intent of the code to create a synthetic dataset of reviews linked to restaurants over a range of dates, which is essential for practicing data manipulation and analysis with realistic review data. Real review exports often contain accidental duplicates, like a page being scraped twice. We'll deliberately add some, so we have something genuine to clean. Injecting duplicate reviews. Running the cell now. Sample with a fixed random_state grabs 20 existing rows to duplicate, reproducibly. Concat stacks the duplicates onto the end of the original table. We save the combined, now duplicated dataset to a CSV file, exactly like a real export. We read it straight back in, parsing the date column. We print the shape, 620 rows now, 20 more than the clean 600 we started with. Running the cell now. The output shows the new shape of the reviews data frame as 620 for, indicating it now contains 620 rows and 4 columns. This matches the intent of the code, which duplicated 20 existing reviews and appended them, increasing the total row count from 600 to 620 while preserving all columns. Notice how injecting duplicates affects dataset size, which is critical for simulating real-world data inconsistencies. Duplicated flags every row. That's an exact repeat of an earlier one, which is the first step before removing them. Part 2. First look and deduplication. Running the cell now. Summing the Boolean result of duplicated counts exactly how many rows are duplicates. This should match the 20 we added. We preview a few of the flagged duplicate rows directly. Running the cell now. The output shows that there are 20 duplicate rows in the reviews dataset, with the displayed rows illustrating examples of these exact repeats. This highlights the importance of identifying duplicates early in the data cleaning process to ensure accurate analysis, which is the key goal of this lesson section on deduplication. Drop_duplicates removes every repeated row, keeping just the first occurrence of each. Reset_index cleans up the round numbering afterward. We confirm we're back to 600 rows. We confirm 0 duplicates remain. Running the cell now. After removing duplicates, the dataset now has 600 rows and 4 columns, confirming the intended shape change. The 0 count from duplicated .sum verifies that all duplicate rows have been successfully dropped, ensuring cleaner data for further analysis. This step is crucial for avoiding bias or errors caused by repeated entries. Merging reviews onto restaurants attaches cuisine, city, and price details to every single review. Part 3. Merging and ranking restaurants. Running the cell now. A left merge on restaurant_ID attaches every restaurant detail onto its matching reviews. We preview the merged result. Running the cell now. This output shows the first few rows after merging the reviews and restaurants data frames, combining ratings with restaurant details like name, cuisine, and city. Notice how each row now provides a complete picture of a review, linking ratings to specific restaurants and locations. This sets the foundation for analyzing and ranking restaurants based on their combined data. Grouping by restaurant name and calling AG with 2 named outputs. Review_count counts the ratings. An average_rating averages them. Rounded to 2 decimals. We filter to restaurants with at least 10 reviews first, since an average based on just 1 or 2 reviews isn't very trustworthy, then sort the rest by rating. We display the top 5 genuinely well-reviewed restaurants. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 restaurants ranked by average rating, filtered to include only those with at least 10 reviews, ensuring reliability in the scores. Notice the columns. Review_count captures the number of ratings per restaurant, while average_rating reflects the average score rounded to 2 decimals. This step highlights how merging and grouping data allows us to identify consistently well-rated restaurants based on sufficient review volume. Zooming out from individual restaurants to whole cuisines reveals broader patterns. We're cleaning real duplicate records and building genuine ranked reports now. If this is helping you learn Pandas faster, a subscribe goes a long way. Part 4. Cuisine analysis. Running the cell now. The same grouping pattern, 1 level up, by cuisine instead of by individual restaurant. Counting reviews. An averaging rating. Rounded and sorted from highest rated cuisine down. We display the full cuisine leaderboard. Running the cell now. This summary table shows the number of reviews and average ratings for each cuisine, highlighting that Japanese and Thai cuisines have the highest average ratings at 3.89. Notice the variation in review counts, with Mexican cuisine having the most reviews, which helps us understand both popularity and satisfaction trends. This aligns with the lesson's goal to analyze and compare cuisines based on customer feedback. Value underscore counts, sorted by the rating value itself, shows the overall shape of the rating distribution across every review. Notice how it skews toward 4s and 5s, matching the weighting we built in. Running the cell now. Here, we see the distribution of review ratings from 1 to 5 stars, with counts sorted in ascending order by rating value. Notice that the most common ratings are 4 and 5 stars, indicating generally positive feedback in our cuisine dataset. This helps us understand the overall customer satisfaction before diving deeper into specific cuisine trends. A pivot table of cuisine against price range shows whether pricier restaurants actually earn better ratings. Part 5, Pivot Table and Crosstab. Running the cell now. Pivot underscore table puts cuisines down the rows, price ranges across the columns, and averages rating in every cell. We reorder the columns from cheapest to priciest, since pivot underscore table sorts them alphabetically by default. We display the full cuisine by price rating grid. Running the cell now. This pivot table summarizes the average restaurant ratings by cuisine and price range, showing how ratings vary across budget, mid-range, and upscale categories. Notice the presence of nans where no ratings exist for certain price ranges, highlighting missing data for some cuisine price combinations. This output illustrates the power of pivot tables to compactly compare group means across multiple dimensions for deeper insights. Crosstab counts how many reviews fall into every cuisine and city combination, laid out as a grid, showing where each cuisine is most represented. Running the cell now. This cross-tabulation shows the count of reviews for each cuisine type across 3 cities, highlighting how popular each cuisine is in different locations. Notice the varying counts. Mexican cuisine dominates Brookhaven, while Japanese has a strong presence in all 3 cities. This output demonstrates how pivot tables can summarize and compare categorical data across multiple dimensions effectively. A bar chart of average rating by cuisine makes the leaderboard instantly readable. Part 6, Visualizing the results. Running the cell now. We import matplotlib. Switching to the non-interactive AG backend so charts save cleanly anywhere. Then we import pyplot. A figure and axis. We plot average rating per cuisine as a bar chart, fixing the y-axis from 0 to 5 to match the real rating scale. A title. A y-axis label. Tight underscore layout keeps everything readable. We save the chart. We release the figure. We confirm the save. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the bar chart showing the average rating for each cuisine has been successfully saved as an image file. In this lesson section on visualizing results, the chart lets us quickly compare ratings across cuisines, highlighting differences in popularity or quality. Notice how setting the y-axis limit to 5 ensures all ratings are displayed within the expected range, making interpretation clearer. Opening the real saved chart directly, confirming it genuinely landed on disk exactly as it looked in the notebook. A new figure and axis for our second chart. Calling plot directly on our pivoted data frame draws one grouped bar per cuisine, automatically split into a separate colored bar for each price range column. A title. A y-axis label. A legend, label to explain what each color means. Tight underscore layout keeps everything readable. We save the chart. We release the figure. We confirm the save. Running the cell now. This output confirms the successful creation and saving of a bar chart showing average ratings by cuisine and price range. Notice how the different price categories compare within each cuisine, highlighting trends in customer satisfaction. This visualization helps us clearly interpret the relationship between pricing and ratings, fulfilling the lesson's goal of making insights from the data visually accessible. Opening the real saved chart directly, confirming it genuinely landed on disk exactly as it looked in the notebook. Plotting directly from a pivoted table like this, with no extra setup, is one of the most convenient shortcuts Pandas offers for exactly this kind of grouped comparison. We covered a lot, so let's recap. Wrap up what you learned. Generating a realistic synthetic reviews dataset with deliberately injected duplicates, then saving and reloading with to_CSV and read_CSV. Detecting duplicate rows with duplicated, and removing them with drop_duplicates. Merging reviews onto restaurant details, then ranking restaurants with a minimum review count filter. Cuisine level summaries with Group B, and a full rating distribution with value_counts. A cuisine by price pivot table, and a cuisine by city crosstab. Grouped bar charts, including one plotted directly from a pivoted data frame, with matplotlib. You went from a duplicate-riddled synthetic reviews feed to a fully cleaned, ranked restaurant report. If you want the next dataset in this series to land in your feed automatically, subscribing is the move. See you in the next one. Running the cell now.